everybody, this is Cindy Duncan with Cindy Duncan Arts. I am back to do something a little bit different today, something that I've never tried before. First of all, I want to share with you, pardon my hands there, I'm going to share with you a couple of projects that I did for Christmas. I got together with some arty friends and we created a few things. This was one of them. This is an ornament that I made. One of my arty friends brought these vintage award ribbons and we took them apart and I made this cute little ornament out of that with a little chandelier piece down here at the bottom. There's various Christmas trims behind there, and then the backside is very similar. So that's one of them that I wanted to share with you. The other one, one of the other women gave us a vintage fork to use to create something with, and this vintage image also that she had. And then this was another piece of that award ribbon. And so I did this with this cute little girl and did a little something fun with the back too. And my little girl, actually, I stuck her on my Christmas tree using the tines of the fork to hold her up and just kind of propped her up there. But I could always drill a hole right here and put, you know, a hanger through there, or put a bail. It was suggested that we put a bail on here and hang them that way. But anyway, that was the second one that I wanted to share with you. Then what I'm going to do today, and I'm hoping, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the volume, the audio is going to be okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down here. I'm standing right now. I'm going to sit down here and I am going to work on a project that I need to do for this coming Sunday. Today is Thursday. And I'm going to have you join me so you can craft along with me making that project. When I sit down, I'm not sure how the volume's going to be though, so that's the iffy part of this. I have looked into how to use my phone, which is what I'm using to film, and a lapel mic, but I'm not sure how to do that just yet, so if this doesn't work super well, just bear with me. I will be learning and I'll come back to you with better audio at another time, but hopefully that's the case, that it'll be good audio. This beautiful doily is a tatted doily, by the way. I'm going to put it aside. It was for decorative purposes. I got it, of course, at an estate sale, and look at how beautiful the little tatting is there. And I got a set of these big ones, and I got a set of smaller ones that I just adore. So that was what I was going to use there to display. Alright, so another thing I wanted to show you from one of my estate sales was this, and this is what I'm going to be using today. There was a whole pile of these things on a table. I love estate sales. And I'm like, oh, they're mine. What it is the woman had cut out big mitten patterns out of this material. It's a very unusual material. I'll show you up close. It's a very lightly woven on top of, to get back down to the light, on top of, there's almost like a very thin batting on the inside. It's very interesting, but it seems to me to be a little delicate. So I'm going to make, what I'm making is I'm having a Christmas gathering on New Year's Eve. Yes, a Christmas gathering on New Year's Eve. My sister was away, and so my family is all going to celebrate Christmas Eve Day. Sorry, New Year's Eve Day. And I'm going to make her one of these mittens into a kind of a stocking-like thing to put little bitty gifts that I had gotten for her for Christmas. So that's what I'm starting with. I'm starting with one of these sets of mittens. Actually, I'm going to use this one on top. And we're going to go from there. So, come along. Create with me. Hopefully we'll have a really good time. I'm going to have a good time. Hopefully you'll have a good time too. Alright, so this is where I'm not sure about the volume. But you're going to craft along with me and I'll speed it up. I'll put music over it or something if it becomes an issue. So I'm going to start with this. And I've gathered a few things on the side here that I might try out to use. Some doilies and things. I'm thinking that I want it to hang like this. Well, actually, you know what? Let's not do that first. Let's line this puppy. Because this material looks so delicate, I think I want to line it. And under normal circumstances, I might sew this, but I'm really not a seamstress. I actually do, I do better sewing on paper than I do sewing on material. I prefer sewing on paper. That's a very strange thing, but it's true. So the idea of sewing something kind of unnerves me a little bit. So anyway, this is another piece of material that I got at an estate sale from, I don't know if I showed you the haul, I think I did, of the doll maker. This was in that haul. This is a piece of taffeta that she has for lining things. So I thought, that would be a good thing to line my mitten with, right? So I'm going to put this down on my taffeta. And actually, while I'm not a seamstress, I was thinking about, just now I was thinking, well, I could draw lines on that, but I have this bag of safety pins right here. So I might as well just pin it and then cut it out that way. And here's the thing, I don't want to pin it that way because this is the side that I want to show. So I'm going to have to pin it this way. Again, I'm not a seamstress. So anything that I am doing here is purely instinct because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sewing. Or doing patterns or anything of that nature. One thing I'm finding about bringing you guys along to create with me is that I cannot have my radio on down here or my TV or anything of that nature. One, because if I bring the radio down, then YouTube will get rid of my videos, so I've heard, because of copyright infringement on the music. So, due to that, I am sitting down here with no sound whatsoever, and if I don't talk, I will get really bored, and I'm sure you will too. So, but anyway, a lot of this I can speed up. I did figure out that I could do that on the new program that I got. I got a new program for video editing. I mentioned it in the description of the last video that I posted about my hoarding. If you watched that one. I'm actually in the hoarding space though, you guys. Where I'm crafting right now is actually my craft table in my studio. The studio is by no means clean, but I just decided that since the rest of my house was still clean, I didn't want to bring anything upstairs because I didn't want to have to take it back down here again. And with my past track record, if I took it upstairs, it would stay there. And then the upstairs would become a disaster hoarding area too, so I decided to just clear space down here and work down here. Plus, I really love my studio. I don't like that it's not clean right now and not as organized as I've had it in the past, but I like it because everything I need is down here. So there's one of my mittens. Let's do another one. I'll line the next one. So I've got this. Let's pull this out. And I've got my usual setup for videotaping, which is why I said that we'll see how that goes with the audio. I think that this is a better way to record. I also have, I didn't point it out when I did my studio tour, but I also have a little webcam set up in front of my, or above my studio over there, or my desk. And the webcam, though, I think has really crappy resolution. Plus, I don't think the volume on that is very good either. I think it's worse than with my phone. So I was real happy when I discovered that I could take pretty decent videos with my phone. So that's why I'm using my phone. And the setup that I use is I stacked up on the sides here. I have some boxes and things set up high. And then I think I told you in another video, I have it's a wire shelf-like thing that goes behind your sink, like in the bathroom. And I have that set up on the sides, and because of the wires, I can sit my phone so that the lens aims through the wires and aims down without any impediment. Is that the word? I'm not so hot with picking words and stuff. But anyway, so that's the setup that I have right now. And we'll see how it works. You know, here's a funny story. I'll share this with you guys. So I've been wanting to do YouTube videos for a couple of years now. And I researched, because here's the thing. I did the magazine for a number of years, and I always tried to do everything as professional as I could, and I always, you know, I worked hard at that. So the idea of me coming in and doing a crappy job videotaping, you know, just kind of bothered me. I didn't want to do that. I felt like people expected more from me. So I spent maybe a year researching and trying out different methods before I ever posted anything on YouTube. And I just decided, finally, I think when I finally posted the first video, which was last year, it's been about a year since I started doing YouTube videos, but what wound up happening was I don't even know how it happened. I think it was this wire thing. I think that's what happened. I think and that's a long story too. My husband got one for our bathroom and I wasn't happy about it, but I saw it and I had this aha moment and I was like, oh, I might be able to use that. And that's when it started. And I just took a video and decided to upload it to YouTube right away. And at that time, YouTube had the YouTube video editor that I used, and I discovered that I could very easily use that to do my videos. And it wasn't as hard as all that. So any of you that are out there that are thinking that you want to make videos, and you're in the place like I was, thinking about how you're going to, you know, research and try to discover how it is that you're going to do your videos. You know, you want to do it right, blah, blah, blah. Let me just tell you, just do it. You know, just do it. It's so easy. It was so much easier than I imagined it was going to be. And, you know, now since then they took away the YouTube video editor. So you can still upload videos very easily, but the editing part of them is tricky. And because there's a lot of things you can't do now easily on YouTube. But there are other programs. And for instance, what I'm using right now is called... I know, I'll forget. I'll put it below. It's Power Director, I think is what it's called. And I got that. It's an app for my phone. I have an Android phone. And yeah, it works pretty well. It does pretty much everything I need it to do. All right. As I'm working today, I'm going to be using two different things. I'm going to be using my glue gun. And I'm going to be using this. This is matte super heavy gel. Oops, blooper. I'm going to be using this also because this is a really nice adhesive for just about anything that you ever want to adhere. And while it takes some time to dry, I also find that it's a little more forgiving than the glue gun is. And by forgiving, especially when I'm working with fabrics or things like this, the glue gun can get kind of stiff, and I'm not looking for stiff. So I am going to go back and forth between this and my glue gun. Just thought I'd show that to you first. Alright, so I have my mittens cut out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I am going to use my glue gun to put together the pieces here. We'll see how that goes. First, I need a bigger piece of glue than what's in there. It won't work. This was another great thing, by the way. I'm telling you guys, I love estate sales and thrift shops and whatever. Keep an eye out for this kind of stuff. Glue gun glue sticks are really expensive. But I go and I'll find in these things, these people, you know, that where the homeowner was a crafter, and they'll have all this kind of stuff, and the people there are just trying to get rid of it. And most of the time, these kind of supplies, you can find these pretty inexpensively. I don't always find them, but that particular package I did find at an estate sale, so I was real happy about that. All right, let's see how this comes out. All right, I'm doing just a little bit at a time because I don't want it to dry or cool, whatever the case may be here. Hopefully you can still see this. See, when I do my videos, or when I had been doing my videos from my dining room table, mostly my show and tell type videos, I was standing when I did them. So I was able to see exactly what you guys were seeing below. But while I'm working, this needs to be up high enough so that, one, it doesn't impede my workspace and I don't bump it with my head. But I also, you know, I need to be sitting because I can't stand and do this all the time. So I can't see the viewfinder, obviously. And not seeing the viewfinder, I don't really know what you're seeing. I mean, I can guess. And I kind of know from when I was standing there where the camera goes, but... And I'm sure I was mumbling just now, so you might not have heard that, so I apologize. I know it. My thinking is that I probably have to talk in order for you to hear me at the same level that I talk when I talk to my dad. So I'm pretty well versed in speaking loudly. So I apologize for those moments when I mumble. And hopefully the volume on this will be adequate. Adequate for our purposes. Anyway, so I haven't been to an estate sale for a couple of weeks. Are you proud of me? Just because, you know, with Christmas and everything, it was a little crazy to go out. But there's one coming up this weekend that I'm interested in going to. I have friends now. Maybe they don't know they're my friends, but I go to their estate sales a lot. I look for them because I like their shows. I call them shows. I've said that before. You have to bear with me on that. I know that's not the right word, but that's just what comes out of my mouth. Anyway, I go to their estate sales often because I like the way they run them. And I like them. But anyways, the last time I was at one with them, I was talking to one of the ladies. I don't know if she's the owner's wife or if she's just a worker or what. But anyway, I was talking to her, was kind of telling her what I look for when I go to estate sales, and because she was asking me what I was going to use a particular thing that I was purchasing, what I was going to do with it, because she was curious. It was an interesting item, and I told her what I was thinking of, or, and told her I was an artist and that I, bought most of that stuff as art supplies. So I told her, I said I started coming to estate sales because I couldn't afford to pay the retail price for a lot of that stuff that I wanted to use in my work. And in order to have a wide selection, it was getting pretty pricey on the retail end of it. So I, decided that I would go looking for it at estate sales. And so she and I got to talking about that. Interestingly, she's also an artist. But because I told her that, she told me that she has a show coming up this weekend that is the family, one of the people in the family was an artist, and that there's going to be a lot of arts and crafts supplies at this particular estate sale. So, so I have a lot going on this weekend. Well, I have a lot going on the day that I would go. Let's put it that way. Because of my hoarding problem, and because part of the joy for me of going to an estate sale. If you wonder what the ooh was for, I cut too far. Part of the joy of going to an estate sale for me is getting a bargain. I mean, I will buy things because it's just fun to get a really good deal. But anyway, as you saw, if you watched my hoarding episode, I don't need anything. I really don't. So, one of my promises to myself is that if I do go to an estate sale, I won't go, or I will go only on the last day, which is when they do their real big bargains. Because since I don't need anything, there's really no reason at all for me to go on a day when I'm going to be paying full price for something that I don't need. So anyway, so the day that I would go to this estate sale is going to be a really busy day, and I will have to really fit it in. But I'd like to see, since they thought of me and told me that would be a good one for me to go to. Okay, so I got one mitten lined. Let's do the other one. And it's not, it doesn't feel real stiff, so that's a good thing. Okay. Anyway. Alright, ta-da! So now I have both of them done. Both of them are lined, like so. And now I can put them together. I'm thinking that I might want to put some lace between the layers. So I'm going to have to look. I have my lace on cards. I'm going to have to look and see if there's one that I like to go between the layers. That one's kind of nice. I might try that one. That's a small one. My problem with lace is I actually need much thinner lace than I have. For instance, I would love to have a lot more that's real small like this, or even as small as this part right there. Very, very narrow, thin laces. I would really love to have more of them, because I find myself needing them more often than I need the bigger ones. Then I have some on bigger boards here. Nothing small. Let's see what's on this one. See, this is nice and small, but it's on a... it's not as small as I would like. And I don't think there's enough of it to go around that whole mitten. And then there's nothing small on this one. There's this one. I don't know if there's enough of that to go around or not. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Well, I've got two choices now. I can use this one or that one, and I have to just see which one I have the most of. I think it's probably going to be this one. So let's give it a shot. Oops. I have it. Well, maybe not, because actually I think there's a couple of pieces in here, and if that's the case, I don't know that this is going to work. Yep, look, I got that little bitty piece there. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that looks to be a bigger piece. Okay. So, let us, first of all, get rid of my... let's put them over here. Ow. For now, that's what I didn't want to happen. Alright, I don't want to take time to do that. Okay. So, let's see how this works. I like it. I think there's going to be enough. Yep, there should be enough. Okay. So that's the one I'm going to use. Alright, so that part is done, which is nice. I'm just thinking right now my video, all that's going to get sped up, but it's already at like 40 minutes, so I'm hoping it doesn't cut off on me at any one point. I have to keep checking it to make sure it does not. So, I have that that part done. Bear with me, sorry about that. So that's what that looks like. That's kind of pretty, right? I like that. Now I'm going to put the two sides together. Very cute. Okay. All right, let's do it this way. This is so I know to to slow down. So I'm putting the finishing touches on this now. I was just kind of commenting to myself that I think it's Maggie White that did the tutorial on how to know whether your crochet is right side up or upside down. I think that's upside down, but I'm not taking it off. So there. Anyway, so yeah, I think, well, let me look. I think I'm going to just be finishing this up now. I think we're getting to the end, which is good. Hopefully my camera will manage. It managed about 42 minutes the last time. And I don't know how much longer it's going to manage this time. But we'll see. We shall see, right? I'm a little tired. I had to leave and come back because my camera died at 42 minutes, and then I realized it was because I was out of space. So I had to download that to my tablet, which took more time than I thought it should have. And then I had to go, I had an appointment. So anyways, I'm back, and it's much later at night. But I really need to get this finished because I don't have any other time to do this. I'm going to work tomorrow at my dad's. And anyway, I'm just kind of out of time. So, it took a little bit longer than I thought to do the filming portion of this. But I think it's turning out pretty nice. I kind of like it. I think it'll be fun. I think she'll like it. I know she'll like it. Since it's later in the day and I'm tired, I'm wondering if the audio is going because I'm not talking as loudly. You can probably hear the sounds of my family upstairs. Hopefully that's not a problem. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a little distressing of this. Somewhere in the mess of my basement, I have vintage photo. Is that what it's called? Somewhere. This is antique linen. I don't know if this is really what I want or not. Plus, it seems to be a little on the dry side. I don't think I'm getting much of anything. It's coming off on here, but does anybody know if there's a way to rejuvenate these? It's a distressing pad that I'm using. I'm using this. Because I'm thinking, unless this is supposed to be the color, I don't use this very often, so I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be the color. It's supposed to be that light. I saw this technique on somebody's video talking about taking your ink from the off the side onto your paper. Gives you a better I don't know, a better result. I'm thinking it was either Maggie White or can you tell I'm tired? Lots of ums. Either Maggie White or Crafty Irina. One of those two is what I'm thinking. I got this tip from them, which is a great tip. Although sometimes when I try to do it, it doesn't work very well. But anyway, so it's not too bad. So, got that distress a little bit, and that I'm going to stick back behind there. This is going to go here. guys, it's almost done. I think I like this little guy for there. And I think I like me some bling. I'm going to do the bling there. And funny about taking the pin backs off of these things, because I kind of like the idea of being able to remove them. I don't know what that's about, but it'd be so much easier to just glue it, I'm sure. And why? Because these are vintage pieces, so I feel funny about gluing them down if I don't have to. So that fit on there pretty nice. Now this one though, I'm gonna have to take the clip earring part off. I'll just take my pliers and get in there and twist until it comes off. I had the hardest time finding my pliers. I would have liked to have found my wire snippers. Right there. I have to squish this down. A little more glue there. And set it there. Except I don't like that idea, because then that's going to be what she sees from the top. Let's put it at the bottom. That's not too bad. Okay. That's nice. Alright, so far so good. Let's put this on here, because again, this is a vintage piece that I don't want to glue. You know, I was starting to put this stupid flower on using the pin on the back, but the flower I don't think is vintage. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. And so since I don't think that it's, I don't like the location of that. Since I don't think that it's vintage, I don't think I'm going to worry so much about where it goes. I mean, that's not what I meant. I'm not going to worry so much about using glue on it. Just stand up to see. I like it this way. I actually think I'm going to have to put, well, I don't know, what do you think? That's better, right? Alright, I have to glue that down. Just that little piece. There we go. Like that. Pooh. I was trying to find something to poke that with. I couldn't find it. Okay, that's nice. Alright. That goes there, that goes there, I got that down. This I think I'm going to glue down with my extra thick, my heavy gel medium. Super heavy gel medium, I'll get it right. And then I think, I kind of liked the idea. Okay, I'm back. So my video did cut off towards the end of that, but I was mostly done. So I'm going to show you the finished mitten. It is all done. I'm not going to present it this way because I actually have things to put inside of it. But for now, this is for just decorative purposes. But here it is. This is the finished mitten. I think it turned out really nicely. I'll come down a little bit closer so you can see details. So I've got, sorry for the shaking guys, I didn't set it up on a tripod because I needed to do this quickly. But here is the whole thing. And I'll show you the back side. It's just kind of partially finished there with the lace all the way around. So this is my project. Thanks for joining me. You can hear my husband sneezing in the other room. We've had a lot of colds passed around lately. Anyway, this is the finished piece. I know my sister's going to enjoy it. I hope you had a good time following along with me, and it was definitely a learning process for me as I tried this whole Create With Me process. Thanks for joining me. If you like what you see here on my channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.